Demonetization ghosts, are they buried once and for all? Were the objectives of demonetization met? Should that be debated? Should the government release a white paper on demonetization's objectives? Joining me now, Aparajita Sarangi is BJP MP and Sanjay Hegde is Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. Appreciate both of you joining us. Aparajita Sarangi, you might have heard what Mr. Chidambaram said. He is trying to separate the legal issues from the political objectives, saying focus on the political objectives which have not been discussed by the court. Yes, he is conceding that legally the government had the right to demonetize currency, but demonetization failed in its objectives. Your response?
A very good evening.
Good evening.
Today is a big day. The Supreme Court has upheld the decision of the government which was communicated to the country on 8th November 2016 regarding demonetizing 500 rupees and 1000 rupees currency notes. And I think a lot of debate has gone around this particular thing, and it had been made into a weapon against Bharatiya Janata Party and the central government in all the elections by the opposition parties. But I think everything has failed. 58 petitions, as we know, have been set aside. Now here, in fact, what they are saying is they are focusing on the process of decision regarding demonetization. They are saying that the process has been upheld. The process has been approved by the Supreme Court, but they are not, I think, willing to accept the kind of achievements that demonetization process has brought for the country. Now, of course, I mean, very happy to actually
tell me what's the one big outcome. In your view, what is that one big outcome out of demonetization that necessitated such an urgent step that you believe vindicates the government? The legal process apart, the political objectives.
See, why did demonetization come? Why was it brought about? It was part of a larger strategy to combat the menace of fake money, terror financing, black money, and tax evasion. And on all these counts, the government has succeeded. I'll give you a couple of examples. In fact, I have a list of all those achievements. But the most important thing is it has actually brought down the currency in circulation in payment systems. Now here, I would definitely like to mention that in fact, many people are saying that, the currency, the amount of currency has not been brought down. No, it's not true. The rise in currency in circulation in absolute numbers, of course, has gone up more than 70%. It's in the system, I agree. But here we are not talking of currency in circulation in absolute numbers. We are talking of currency in circulation in payment systems. And I give you the data. The currency in circulation in payment system has declined from 88% in financial year 15-16 to 20% in financial year 21-22, and it is estimated that it will further come down to 11.15% by the end of this financial year. This is one part. Number two, I think all of us have heard that about 3.8 lakh companies and 4.5 lakh directors related to shell companies, shell entities were struck off under Section 248(1)(c) of the Companies Act. So I think this is a major achievement. And of course, third and very important is, we talk of digital transactions. In financial year 21-22, rupees 84 lakh crore worth digital transactions, or let me say like this, rupees 84 lakh crore worth transactions on United Payment Interface took place in the country, which is a record achievement. So I think on all fronts, demonetization has been able to kind of bring about systemic and behavioral changes in the system.
You're linking digitization, the growth in digitization to demonetization. Sanjay Hegde, do you want to respond? Because the court stayed away from political outcomes or looking at objectives. They focused on the legal process. Today, Aparajita Sarangi and indeed the BJP time and again says, look, digitization, they believe, got a big boost because of demonetization. Therefore, the political objectives are contentious. Today, the legal debate has been settled. You're on mute. Sanjay, you're on mute. Yes.
The legal debate was settled a long time ago. much before demonetization. It was settled in the bearer bonds case, where also the Supreme Court said that in matters of economic policy, the Supreme Court would not intervene. It would only look at the process through which a decision was taken. As far as the process is concerned, 4:1, they have upheld the process. I did hear the BJP spokesperson give a lot of things that have happened since demonetization. But then correlation is not causation. You see, all those things could have equally well happened without demonetization. The digital economy has expanded, yes, but it took off during COVID. There are so many other things, but I do not want to get into a political debate. I just want to tell your viewers that the fact that the Supreme Court has upheld the process does not mean that the Supreme Court has approved of the wisdom of the decision. The wisdom of the decision is left to the executive. It is left to the people who elect the executive.
They have not questioned
whether that has been.
But including the dissenting judgment, Sanjay Hegde of Justice Nagarathna, they have not questioned the intentions of the government. They've all said the intentions were honorable. What they have questioned in Justice Nagarathna's case, she believes that it was the RBI which should have initiated it, not the government, and made the RBI effectively a rubber stamp. That's where the distinction comes. I want to ask you, in your view, which is the stronger judgment, the dissenting one or the majority one?
Well, there is also that part of the dissent where Justice Nagarathna held that recourse to Parliament was necessary and it could not be part of the executive powers. That was the point that Mr. Chidambaram was also making. That, look, in a constitutional scheme of governance, ministers act under the Constitution and under the various laws that Parliament passes. So their powers are derived from those laws.
Right.
To say that Parliament's power to make laws is the same as the minister's powers to implement those laws, that there is a fallacy out there, which maybe some other judgment might have to take a relook at.
Can I therefore look at Aparajita Sarangi, a critical question, which is the 24-hour notice, which in a way was seen by many people, the manner in which the RBI effectively on November 7th was informed by the government that they were going ahead with it, and on the 8th of November the government goes ahead with it. While 52 days were given to people to change their currency, the fact is the RBI was seen by many as a rubber stamp. Is that something that is this executive power that is there? The court is upholding executive power, but could it have been done better? Could it have been done better in a manner that it caused less of disruption to an economy?
See, unfortunately, it has become a fashion to question every action and intention of Prime Minister Modi government. Demonetization was introduced with the best of intentions and we are reaping the dividends. Now, as far as RBI is concerned, we are well aware of the fact that RBI was asked to give its opinion. It is far from the truth when we say that RBI was actually not informed, RBI was not consulted, they did not know what was happening. This is absolutely ridiculous.
But Raghuram Rajan, ma'am, I'm sorry to intervene. Raghuram Rajan, former RBI governor, went on record to say that he had suggested that the government review this decision. So it appears that the government in that sense seemed to overlook all the objections.
I must tell you with all conviction at my command that the opinion of the Reserve Bank of India had been taken and it was a positive opinion. I must say this. And as far as taking the whole thing to the Parliament is concerned, see, there can be executive orders, there can be executive decisions. So I think when demonetization was brought in, I think there was a good executive decision taken in the interest of the nation. And I must tell you that in these 6 years after demonetization, we can see greater transparency. There is an increase. Who can say there is no increase? There is an increase in tax compliances, collection and filings. And I must say the paper-based instruments such as check, etc., has declined from 46% in financial year 2015-16 to 12.7% in financial year 21-22. Okay. See, we have facts and figures. this was brought in with the best of intentions, and I think there has been some kind of systemic and behavioral changes in the economy. It was aimed at kind of enhancing the digitization and formalization in the economy, and this has happened. So I think let us not, I think they have to bury the hatchet. Now it's high time that, they think positively about the whole thing.
Okay, very quick word, final word from you, Sanjay Hegde. Is there a cautionary note at all that the government should look at?
Well, there are several cautionary notes. If there are no cautionary notes, there is nothing which prevents this government from demonetizing again. Do you think that any government of India in our foreseeable future is likely to indulge in that kind of demonetization again? I certainly think not.
Okay. Let me
so that itself should tell you that notwithstanding all this chest thumping, this is a decision which no rational government will ever repeat.
Let me leave it there. 2 points of view. Aparajita Sarangi, Sanjay Hegde, appreciate you joining us on our talking point tonight.